course.
It was wonderful Mustang display from Dave Pullison. The Norwegian Air Force Historical Squadron is a passion project of Ken R. Wiesler. He brought this project about to preserve the ex-military historical aircraft in airworthy condition and deliver these unique historic aircraft to the public at air shows all around Europe.
Now the clouds really have cleared. We have much more blue sky and a beautiful shot as the Vampire was followed by each of the Strikemasters, sort of following each other one after the other as they went high into the sky. So clear to see the difference in the shape of these aircraft. The Vampire with the twin tail, the Strikemasters now as we look out over the pier to the left, once again flanking either side of the Vampire as they form that V with the Vampire at the front. They're banking round. If you're up towards the Holland-on-Sea end of Clacton seafront, you'll get a wonderful view from those new beaches all along from the pier up towards Holland. Flying along now, coming over the pier. 3 abreast. A wonderful sight and a great opportunity for your camera as the smoke goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vampire and the Strikemaster pair.
During the display, you will see the jet aircraft go from silently skulking to full thrust and power, just showing their complete capabilities for their efforts during the Cold War. The de Havilland Vampire was evolved from the DH-100 Vampire as a British jet fighter commissioned by the Royal Air Force during the Second World War. She followed the Gloucester Meteor as the second jet fighter to enter service with the RAF, but she arrived too late to see combat during World War II. The Vampire served on the front line with RAF squadrons from 1953 until her use as a trainer until 1966. The Strikemaster is the BAC 167 Strikemaster, a British jet-powered training and light attack aircraft. She was a development of the Hunting Jet Provost trainer, itself a jet engine version of the Percival Provost, which originally flew in 1950 with a radial piston engine.
Smoke trailing from each of the Strikemasters, and that gorgeous sound of the 3 aircraft as they flew from the pier end past us on the commentary point, and now going out over the water, over that barge again, that Thames sailing barge. The sun really shining and glinting on the wings of each of the 3 aircraft there. And we will get to see each of them in turn. Well, we'll certainly see the Vampire on her own and the Strikemaster pair on their own shortly. But let's just, for a moment, soak up the beauty of the 3 of them together in this formation. Coming now over the Gunfleet Sands wind farm, as if they're coming directly towards us on the prom here in Clacton at the Greensward. Again, the smoke goes on the Strikemasters. They peel off one by one, leaving the Vampire on her own temporarily, banking higher than the Strikemasters, banking to the right over the pier. As I say, each Strikemaster, one going left, one going right. So the 3 aircraft are now parted and preparing for their individual performances.
For this show, the Strikemasters based at Havilland. His final year as leader of the Synchro pair. He later also went on to the airlines, flying Boeings and Airbus aircraft.
So the Strikemasters are back with us. In close formation, flying nicely along the seafront, banking up over to the sea and past the pier. To our left as we look out to sea. also got Ian Bertie Brett, haven't we? Who has flown the Strikemaster for 4 or 5 years. Second year displaying, 13 years as a display pilot, and a Tornado GR4 pilot, then an instructor with RAF Marham. Whilst in the RAF in 2014, RAF tutor manager, display manager, got Bertie the Bug for the airshow world, and around the time he started flying the Hawker Hunter mid-air squadron. Once you get the bug, you've got the bug, haven't you?
And Bertie's a familiar face here at Clacton because he used to fly with Team Raven. He was flying at Clacton with the Ravens before joining the Strikemaster team. He said the Strikemaster is a lot of fun to fly. It's very simple and straightforward with very basic classic instrumentation with big round dials versus the advanced TV screens that he sees on the airline aircraft he flies, like the Boeing. He said it's fast, it's nice, it's a graceful aircraft with aerobatic maneuvers. And of course he loves displaying here at Clacton. He says it's a shame not to be able to land here in a jet as he did when he was on Team Raven, but it's always nice to be on the ground and see the public. He said it's a great show, the sun is always shining at Clacton, and he just enjoys flying on the East Coast, which he said as a pilot gives him a different perspective, and for you as a crowd, the photographs look slightly different as the sun is in a different position.
It's not called the Sunshine Coast for nothing, you know, here in Tendring. And we've got plenty of it at the moment as the two beautifully sail up into the sky, turning to show us each side of the aircraft, up and down, top and bottom.
Now, this Strikemaster has an engine that produces 3,500 pounds of thrust, a pure turbojet, which creates a noticeable noise impact, as we just heard there. This display routine is designed to show the jet's manoeuvrability, and its high performance as a straight-wing aircraft. You'll see slow manoeuvres, closely followed by large vertical manoeuvres. And during the display, the pilots will sustain up to 4G.
Yes, we're getting a turbojet masterclass in manoeuvrability here at Clacton. It's funny, isn't it? It's difficult to sometimes imagine how large the aircraft is when it's in the skies above us. We're looking at a length here of 33 feet, 8.5 inches, so just over 10 meters. The wingspan is 36 feet, 10 inches, 11.2 meters, just to give you a little bit of an idea of the size of the aircraft that we're looking at the moment.
Maximum speed of 481 miles per hour, up to 18,000 feet. And a top speed of 518 miles per hour. That's the never exceed speed limit.
Wow, that'd get you places quickly, wouldn't it?
I wonder how long it takes them from North Weald to come here.
About 3 minutes at that speed.
Now, Bertie has been doing some instructional flying at North Weald, and he enjoys flying over the Essex landscape. It's beautiful to fly over. He's been teaching and examining everything from ab initio first-time pilots and Cessna Pipers up to jet training.
I don't know if it's Bertie's nice or a local Facebook group in Havilland, which isn't that many miles away from Clacton. Chatter the other week about an aircraft that goes over at about 1 o'clock every day, and someone said, it might not be true, but someone said on the Facebook group, that's a Strikemaster. And then someone else said, yeah, it's on its way to North Weald every day. So I don't know where Bertie lives, if he's coming home for lunch or something. But we often see the Strikemaster over the Essex countryside. It gets discussed on various community Facebook groups. They're coming either direction now. And a wonderfully close pass. They just tilted their wings and crossed in front of us here on the beach before soaring out over the wind farm to once again cross over in front of us. Again, both smoke is trailing.
During the routine, the high speeds will reach up to 400 knots. Lots of crossover passes. 3,500 pounds of thrust. The BAC 167 Strikemaster is essentially an armed version of the jet Proverse Mark V. The Strikemaster was modified with an uprated engine, wing hard points capable of carrying 4 500-pound Mark 82 bombs, 2 machine guns, new communication and navigation gear, a different electrical system, and a revised fuel system, including fuel tanks on the wingtips.
Which we can see when we look closely like that. We get such a good view. As they swing past us over the pier now, high into the sky, one after the other. This is a massive loop.
I love it when they push up to the vertical and you can feel that roar in your chest as they accelerate. The Strikemaster was built by the British Aircraft Corporation at Warton in Lancashire. She was actually never operated by the RAF, but used extensively by air forces as diverse as Ecuador, Oman and New Zealand. Now, one of these aircraft is an ex-Oman Air Force aircraft, operated successfully as a light ground attack role for notable historical events, including the Dauphin War and the famous Battle of Mirbat in 1972. The Strikemaster played a crucial role in that battle and proved to be an extremely capable aircraft.
Coming straight for us from the North Sea and up into the skies above.
Last year, he said it took 12 minutes to transit from North Weald, just enough time to warm up, do a little bit of G and get themselves and the aircraft ready for the display.
And as the Strikemasters disappear left and right, you might have heard at the roar of the Vampire. The Vampire is back. This aircraft with the double tail, very distinctive shape, showing the Martello Tower end of the seafront belly that she's now flying along towards the pier.
So as we said earlier, the Vampire was really a replacement after the Gloucester Meteor, served with RAF squadrons between 1953 and used as a trainer up to 1966. She served with many air forces worldwide, setting aviation firsts and records, and was the first RAF fighter to exceed a top speed over 500 miles per hour. One of those records was the first carrier landing and takeoff of a jet aircraft performed by test pilot Eric Winkle-Brown in 1945, when he landed and took off from HMS Ocean. On the 8th of June 1946, the Vampire was introduced to the British public when Fighter Command's 247 Squadron was given the honour of leading the flypast over London at the Victory Day celebrations.
Another record on July the 14th, 1948. 6 Vampire of number 54 Squadron RAF became the first jet aircraft to fly across the Atlantic Ocean when they arrived in Goose Bay in Labrador. They went via Stornoway in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, Iceland, Greenland. From Goose Bay Airfield they went on to Montreal to start the RAF's annual Goodwill Tour of Canada and the US, where they gave formation aerobatic displays. Lots of records set by these aircraft.
Almost 3,300 Vampires were built, a quarter of them under licence in other countries. And the Vampire design was also developed into the de Havilland Venom fighter bomber, as well as the Naval Sea Vampire variants. £3,350 a foot. It's incredible to think that such a powerful aircraft can also fly so silently in stealth mode and oh so gracefully. The Vampire was a mighty aircraft when fully armed with 4 20mm Hispano Mark V cannons, 8 3-inch 60-pound rockets, or 2 500-pound bombs, or 2 drop tanks. And eyes centre of the crowd as the Vampire creeps up on us, pulling up to the vertical, showing us the underbelly of the aircraft and that large fin as Ken flies so gracefully above us here on Clacton seafront, twirling as he reaches the top of the climb.
I said we had a lot of film stars with us today. This is another. This Vampire can be seen alongside John Travolta in the movie adaptation of the Frederick Forsyth novel The Shepherd. The film was made in 2023, filmed in Norfolk, and playing a starring role. You like the film, don't you?
I actually watched it last week in preparation for this show, and I have to say, Ian, I was astonished by it. A lot of these modern day films use a very poor version of CGI, but this production used some real life filming with the Vampire, taxiing and some flying, and they combined that with virtual production in a studio with the pilots in cockpits, using the real footage behind them on big screens. And I have to say, you felt like you were up in the clouds with the pilots, and I actually had goosebumps. It was a fantastic version of a Vampire history on the screen.